diamond painting addicts, and welcome back to Diamond Painting Anonymous. I'm Daphne, and I'm here for this week's WIP and Chat. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not new here, welcome back. WIP, W-I-P, stands for Work in Progress, and this is mine. You are welcome and encouraged to go grab whatever you're working on and work alongside while I chat, or alternatively, you can treat this as a podcast and just listen while I chat. Today I am going to be working on my Aquarius teacup from Bella Art Diamonds. So let me zoom into where I'm going to be working and I will be right back. Okay, so let me jump into my diamond painting. No, my regular life. Oh, you guys, can you tell it's been a long weekend already? So what's been going on in my regular life? I made a bunch of notes, though. I'm probably going to jump around and this is all going to be random again. But so first, pickleball. We did not go back and play pickleball last weekend. We woke up Sunday morning and my knees were just killing me. So we ended up not going. We are going to try and go today. May have already gone by the time you see this. Hubby and I both enjoyed it and we want to go back and do it again. So we'll see how many people show up. I think she said there were like 18 people, but there's only 4 courts. So you can only have like 16 people. Well, I guess some of them are instructors, so I don't know how that works exactly. But anyway, I meant to watch some more videos on how they keep score and all that kind of stuff, but it's kind of confusing because the rules are different depending on whether it's like, I don't know, I guess traditional pickleball versus some of the new professional rules that are springing up. Because I think it was originally intended to be played with 4 people, and now they're changing it so that you can play it with 2. Or maybe you could always play it with 2, I don't know. But the people that I've seen playing it just one-on-one, which is 2 people, it seems like it's very competitive, which is not really what I was looking for. I just want to go out and socialize and get some exercise at the same time, especially during the winter when it's not as easy to find places to go. I keep meaning to try out. There's like a pool, an indoor pool. I forget what they call it, swimming center, that we could try out, but I never think about it. That might be nice to go and try out sometime. I don't know if you have to have a membership or if you can just go in, like buy a session and go in. They probably have both, I would imagine. I could just look it up and see what their hours are and what kind of classes and things, if they have anything like that. I think water aerobics would be fun. Maybe that would be better for my knees too. Anyway, we've just been kind of doing this, that, and the other. So maybe this will feel a little disjointed because of that. Been staying inside a lot just because the weather has been kind of crazy. We had 2 nice days where we got out and did some stuff. Like one day it was almost 60, I think. And then we got a big snowstorm that dumped a couple of feet of snow. And then yesterday and today it has been bitterly cold. I guess Friday too. Really, really windy. One of those north winds that just blows right through your bones. And I think Friday night, it was partly not just snow, it was like raining ice pellets. So after it snowed, you could hear it hitting the ice, or hitting the snow, the ice hitting the snow. And everybody was trying to get out and get everything cleaned up after the first big snowstorm, because I've never been around enough snowstorms to know this, but I guess the first storm was really like nice, fluffy, light snow. So it's easy to snow blow, but if you wait until it then gets covered up with the ice, it's like a brick and it's almost impossible to clean off. Everybody was out with snow blowers trying to get everything cleaned off, and it's been super cold. Hubby and I, we've run the wood stove so much this winter. We had 2 cords, and there was part of a cord left by the previous owners when we moved in. We've gone through almost all of it. So hubby went and bought another half a cord from somebody, but instead of putting it down in the basement, because we have to throw it in through the window, and that window is currently covered up with snow. So instead of hauling it up and down the stairs, we bought like a rack, a metal rack off of Amazon. I think I told you guys about it at one point. It turned out to be a lot smaller than we thought it was going to be. It was in the basement, but it's empty because we've used up almost all the wood. So he brought it upstairs onto the deck, and we put all of the wood that he bought on that and then just covered it up with a tarp. So it's a little more of a pain because he has to go out and uncover the tarp to get it, but he doesn't have to go down the stairs and haul it all up the stairs. So I guess 6 of 1, right? I didn't do any tutoring this week. I need to text my student and see if she's feeling okay. She was feeling a little poorly last week when we did our session, so we did a shorter session. I haven't heard from her since then. We usually do once a week, but could also have to do with her days off too. Or maybe I'll get a text from her today telling me what her days off are going to be. While we've kind of been sitting around doing a whole lot of nothing, well, right after the big snowstorm, that was Wednesday, I think, my youngest was supposed to go get his eyes dilated, and it was bad enough the eye doctor's office closed for the day. They called and rescheduled, so we're supposed to go back in, but I got a call. The original notice told us to come in 30 minutes early. This time they just gave me a time, and I'm like, well, do I show up then? Do I still need to show up 30 minutes early before the time they gave me? So I need to do that. Hubby got a phone call. He's kind of on call with a couple of companies that do storm work. They've called a couple of times for various things, but his name came up for the person that gets called in to do their random drug test. So he had to go do a drug test during the week. I think it was Wednesday morning before the storm. And they were like, you don't have to if you want us to pull somebody else's name. He's like, no, I'll go. And they were happy. So I just thought it was kind of funny. Like, you haven't gone anywhere with them yet, and they're calling you in for a random test. We're supposed to be going up to the in-laws tonight. Stepson's girlfriend has a birthday party, so my brother-in-law is cooking for her. I'm not sure what we're having, but we've all been invited up, assuming the weather is not too terrible. The wind is blowing, and it's drifted the snow in quite a few places, but a lot of stuff got cleaned up on Wednesday after the big dump of snow, so I guess I'll find out when it gets canceled. I don't mind going if hubby drives. I don't like driving in the bad weather here, though. I'm not used to driving in all the snow. I don't want to get used to driving in all the snow, if I'm honest. I don't mind driving when it's nice, but... Well, I think I told you last week that Sable was acting like a diva. She still isn't over it. Now that it's gotten cold, she does not want to go outside at all. We're back to having to take her outside on the leash to get her to go outside. And she used to, she would run over to the door. Now I have to get the leash on her while she's still sitting on the couch, and then I have to walk her over to him at the door. So I don't know if this is because she's still mad at him, she doesn't want to go outside because it's just too cold. Don't know. But he's been leaving her outside in the dog run while he takes Oscar outside the gate for his walk. She gets all excited and will run after them in the dog run and bounce around like she wants to play, but so she's still acting like a diva, I guess. Although she has gone back to sleeping in the bed with us, so I guess her cage is not as comfortable as the bed. Hubby was watching some TV the other day. Well, I say TV, he was watching YouTube. That's what counts as our TV anymore. That's what we watch is streaming stuff. Anyway, hubby found some videos that were supposed to be like entertain your dog while you're gone. So he was watching one of those. It was about other dogs doing stuff, and there was one that had like squirrels coming up to a camera and eating nuts in front of it. Oscar was enthralled, just sitting there on the couch watching TV, watching the other dogs, twisting his head when he would ever hear the squirrels making noise. It was so funny. Sable didn't pay a bit of attention to it, couldn't have cared less what was on the TV. But Oscar was all over it. And now, like when I sat down to film today, because I'm downstairs filming and everybody else is downstairs, it's like, okay, everybody go to the bathroom, everybody get done making noise, turn the TV down so I can sit down here and film my videos, which usually my youngest is in his room, so it's no big deal. But hubby's usually on the couch with the dogs watching television, especially like this weekend, it's a race weekend. So usually I try and come in here when it's nap time, but I was a little later today filming than usual. So it was about time for the dog's dinner. And he's like, well, how long are you going to be? And I said, well, it usually takes me anywhere between 45 minutes to an hour and a half to film a whip and chat. Well, let me feed the dogs first before I start filming. So now I have to work my filming in around the dog schedule too. Like, make sure everybody's laying down and no one's going to get up and bark or make a bunch of noise while I'm trying to film, which is kind of funny. We've also been stuck at home, and I was bored out of my mind and doing some new things. So we've been watching different TV shows. I've been reading books. Hubby actually, we went and got groceries, and hubby got an iced coffee to make some iced coffees for himself. And he had me try one. And I am not a coffee drinker. I don't really like coffee. I've said for years that it smells wonderful, but it's so bitter. I don't like the way it tastes. Turns out, as an iced coffee with a whole bunch of creamer poured into it, so I almost can't taste the coffee, it's actually pretty good. My husband makes fun of me and tells me that it's more creamer than coffee, and it probably is, but it's something different to drink besides sugar-free pop. And there's no sugar in the coffee and there's no sugar in the creamer, so, but yeah, I'm learning that I kind of enjoy that, so maybe, because right now Tim Hortons is playing Roll Up the Rim, so I might have to send hubby out for a Tim Hortons run so that he can pick us up some cups that we can roll up the rim. I guess you can play on the app too, but I don't put apps and stuff like that on my phone, so I just go to the actual store and buy it. I've been trying to do more of that, buy things from actual stores instead of just getting stuff on Amazon. I mean, there's been some stuff that we have to get on Amazon because we can't really find it anywhere else, but I've been trying to buy from local places, even if it means it costs a little bit more, or ordering directly from the companies instead of ordering from them on Amazon. I mean, I never understood the logistics of that, but I don't run a business, so, because I know there's people who have Etsy shops and they do stuff on Facebook and they have Amazon shops and they have like their own websites. But I guess, I don't know, does it have to do with you reach more people the more platforms you have? Or is it just a matter of how much money you have for advertising? I don't know. I don't have a head for all that stuff. I have lots of great business ideas, but I like the creative making part of it. I don't like all the business numbery parts of it. So that makes it feel too much like work. Oh, what did I see? Was that one of Diamond Art Club's new releases this week? It was like a cat and it said, born to nap, forced to work. And I thought, oh, that kind of sums me and my daughter up. She's on spring break this week. I don't know what she's doing this week. They're having much better weather than we are. It was almost 80 degrees up there. Well, down there, I guess. They're south of us. One day last week. Of course, it'll be cold again down there because it's March, but my husband says I've been Canadianized because during the warm weather this week when it was 60, I was like, dang, it almost is balmy outside. He's like, see? I'm like, what is wrong with me? Back in Kansas, if it was 60 degrees, I still needed my winter coat. I don't feel like I've been here long enough to get used to it, but maybe I'm wrong. So besides learning to like iced coffee, I have been reading some books. I actually went out and found some like true crime books to read, which I could have done before now with my Kindle. I don't know why I didn't, but I went out and found a book on the Black Dahlia. Lots of stuff in that one that I didn't know. My sister is a big, I'm going to say she's a mob fan. That sounds wrong, but she's very interested in like gangster history. So, like Al Capone and Bugsy Siegel and a bunch of other people whose names I will never remember. Anyway, I read this book on Black Dahlia and I was talking to her about it, and she's like, oh, yeah, and this and this and this, and don't forget this. And like, how do you know all this? She watches a lot of biographies and history type stuff. So I was filling her in about the book that I had read. And then we started talking about the JFK assassination because I had been on Prime Video just looking for interesting videos to watch, and I seem to be really into history lately. So I've been watching a lot of stuff on archaeology, so a lot of stuff on digging up Britain and things they found in Britain, a lot of stuff on Egypt and things that they've discovered recently in Egypt. Anyway, while I was looking for those things, I found, what do I want to call it? Like a little show. It wasn't a series or anything. It was like a 90-minute show, and this guy and his theory of JFK's assassination. It was really interesting. I've been fascinated with that for a long time. My mom always swore that Lyndon Johnson was behind it all because he wanted to be president. Don't know. But we were talking about that, and this guy was saying that he faked his death, and it all had to do with the Bay of Pigs, and people were after him, and blah blah blah, and it was the mob and all this kind of stuff, and that's what happened to Marilyn Monroe too. And he was going through the Zapruder film and saying that pieces of it were missing and frames of it were missing. Like, anyway, my sister was like, "This theory sounds crazy," and I'm like, "Well, I apparently haven't read as much as you have about all of this stuff, so who knows." I did buy a book when we went to that book sale on the Warren Commission so that I could read it. I don't know if I'm gonna read it though. Not because I don't want to, but like it's probably gonna be really dry and boring. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe it'll be more interesting than I think. Because you learn things and new things all the time. Like, there's a famous serial killer in Kansas. One of the first murders that he committed, the dad was recovering from broken ribs, which is something, because I've heard about this guy my whole life because it happened around the time that I was born. He came back like 20 years later, and it was just a whole thing. So everybody in probably the whole state of Kansas has heard the story multiple times. But I have never heard that he had broken ribs before. So I always find it fascinating, little tidbits. That's why I watch stories even if I've heard them before. My son's constantly making fun of me because he'll be like, "Mom, you've seen this one before." And I'm like, "Have I? I don't remember it." Either I honestly don't remember it, or it's one that we probably watched on a different show. Like, you'll watch it on 48 Hours and then it shows up on Paul is On, or it'll show up on World's Most Evil Killers, which is a British show, or it'll show up on something else. Or like, we watched this on Joe Kenda, now it's on this show. Or this is on Case Files. I like watching Cold Case Files even though they're super old now because most of them are, well, most of them were filmed back in like the 80s and 90s. But I like Bill Curtis's voice. And he's gone now, so he can't voice over any more of them. But anyway, wow, I'm getting really off topic. So I read the book on Black Dahlia and then I was talking it all over with my sister. I guess I need to read some more mobster books. Some of the stuff that goes on back then was just crazy. Like, I wasn't reading a book about Bonnie and Clyde, but I was watching some kind of history video or something after they were killed by the police. Like, they just let people go up into their cars and take souvenirs and stuff like that. Like, there was no thought given to keeping stuff for forensic evidence and all that kind of stuff back then, which is crazy that they would just let people in and sure, take whatever you want from the car. I think it was one of those like Mysteries Unearthed shows where so and so's great great granddaughter or somebody who bought something at a flea market shows up and this is what it turns out to be. Those shows are kind of crazy. We watched one, it was about a guy, I think I told you this, about a guy that ended up with the James Bond car that turned into a submarine in one of the movies. I'm sure my husband could tell you which car. I don't remember. It was white. Anyway, I read the book on Black Dahlia, and then I just finished a book on Lizzie Borden. And I remember watching a movie years ago with the lady from Bewitched who played Lizzie Borden. What was her name? Elizabeth Montgomery? Is that the right name? I get her and the I Dream of Jeannie lady confused sometimes. I think it was Elizabeth Montgomery. It's kind of funny because Lizzie, Elizabeth. Anyway, apparently Lizzie Borden's given name was Lizzie. It wasn't short for Elizabeth. Anyway, I remember watching that movie, but I would swear in the movie what I remembered of it was that she was convicted. Apparently, no. I remembered that incorrectly. She was not. Yeah, it was just crazy. Like, I didn't realize her father was rich, but they lived kind of like poor people. They didn't have a lot of amenities or anything in their house because he saw it as a waste of money. I can't imagine being a woman back then either and it being like, well, this was in what, Massachusetts or someplace? I can't even imagine being like a woman in the 1800s in Kansas. It's so hot some days, and you have to wear all of those layers. I remember thinking that when I was a Girl Scout, we did something where we dressed up like Little House on the Prairie type people. We went to this museum, and we got to pretend we were these people for a day. So we went to school. We had chores that we had to do, and there was like a mercantile goods store that you could go in, and it was supposed to be like this big history kind of thing. and we were adding to the ambiance, wandering around as kids and whatever. It was so hot. It was July and it was so, so hot, and we weren't even wearing the layers that some of the other people were. I don't know how people didn't pass out from heat stroke on the regular, and people didn't bathe regularly, so everyone probably smelled really good. So it was interesting for me to read the book on her and realize that she didn't get convicted. She actually got acquitted. And then, of course, after she got acquitted, everyone figured out that she probably had done it. I read that book, and then I've been talking to my nephew about movies. He's excited for some movies that are coming out this summer. He's waiting on the new Spider-Man movie because Spider-Man is his favorite action hero. There was another movie he wanted to see, but I forget what it was. Anyway, I asked him if he was going to go see Hoppers, which is like a Pixar movie. And then I asked him if he was going to go see, what's it called? The Sheep Detectives. It's a movie where Hugh Jackman is like a shepherd and he lives in like an airstream and takes care of this flock of sheep and he reads to them and then he gets murdered. Sorry if that's spoilers. They show you that in the trailer. And the sheep decide that they're going to solve his murder. But I've been playing my tiny bookshop game, and I discovered that it's actually a book. I think it's called Three Bags Full something. Isn't that from a nursery rhyme? 3 bags full. Have you any wool? Something like that. I don't know how the whole thing goes. Anyway, I really want to see the movie. I really like Hugh Jackman, but I want to see it with the sheep talking and everything before I actually read the book, which is weird for me. I usually want to do it the other way around, but yeah, I'm going to do it this way first. So we'll see how that goes. I thought it was funny that it was in my tiny bookshop game, though, because there are books. I mean, I'm assuming they update it with books that come out each year, but I guess I don't know that. I don't think I've seen any 2026 books yet, but I've seen 2025, so. But I just got the game last year, so I don't know if that came with it or if they've done an update since the first time I played it. I don't know. Anyway, I'm having fun playing it, although I've reached the stage now where I have accomplishments left to achievements left to get, but there's still some like things I need to do. Like I've got mysteries to solve and stuff, and I don't know what I need to do next. It's getting complicated enough I need to start keeping notes, and I thought it was just going to be kind of like a casual game, you know what I mean? Like one of my clues for the current mystery was to go ask everybody at other places, and I've been to every single other place on my map, and nobody has given me any other information yet. So I don't know if I'm doing something wrong or if I haven't discovered something on the map yet. And I'm still saving Stardew Valley. I haven't played Stardew Valley yet. I haven't finished my shipping game. That one kind of fell by the wayside. And I started playing the tiny bookshop game. And then I also have, besides Stardew Valley, there was a game about lost items at the airport. I think it's called Lost and Found that I want to play. I have it, I just haven't played it yet. But then I started playing Tiny Bookshop, and completionist that I am, I want to finish playing that one before I start playing the other one. Which I didn't finish the shipping game, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just trying to do too many things at once. Hubby and I also, while we were looking for things to watch, besides the whatever I was telling you, I don't think I was talking about books, but anyway, we've been watching stuff on TV too. And we had been seeing advertisements for this series called Under Salt Marsh, and it looked really good. So we watched it, and we actually happened to start watching it the week that the final episode came out. We got to binge watch the whole series at once, which was nice. I like books with twists and turns, but then I also get frustrated because I never seem to see it coming. Hubby and I were guessing the whole way about who was going to have done what. Neither one of us got it right. I like watching High Potential too. The High Potential and Oak Island, I guess, were on hiatus while the Olympics was on. So they're back now. We've watched a couple of episodes of High Potential. I don't never know what's going to happen on that one too, but that one's kind of on purpose. I mean, they just kind of show you that she magically, figures it out. I've never understood. I mean, I understand it when she explains it, but I've never figured it out at the same time she did. So I think it's one of those, like, they don't really give you enough clues for you to figure it out. Or maybe I just missed them, but I'm going to tell myself it's because they don't show them to me, and that's why I don't figure it out. Anyway, we watched Under Salt Marsh, and it was really good. And then I was flipping through trying to find something else to watch, and I came upon Scarpetta, which is a series. She's a main character from a series by Patricia Cornwall, And my mom loved Patricia Cornwell books. She bought her and Dean Koontz and Stephen King. I think my mom bought every book any of them ever put out. Who was the other one? Dean Koontz, Stephen King, Patricia Cornwell. There's one more. I can't think of it. It'll come to me later. Anyway, I'm not a big Stephen King fan. I don't like horror books. I don't mind mysteries. I don't like anything too gory, though. But I saw Scarpetta and it had Jamie Lee Curtis in it, and I love Jamie Lee Curtis. So I was like, okay, I want to watch this and just see what happens. And we watched like 2 episodes, and hubby and I were hooked. Also, again, luckily for us, we started watching it this last week, which was when the final episode of the season came out. It ended on a cliffhanger, which I am not a fan of. I don't like it when books or series end on cliffhangers. Thankfully, it has already been renewed for a second season, but I thought it was interesting. Nicole Kidman, who plays Scarpetta, and Jamie Lee Curtis, who plays Scarpetta's sister, and Patricia Cornwell are all executive producers on the show. Jamie Curtis makes the show. I really like her. I used to like Nicole Kidman, but I think she's had too much plastic surgery, it looks like. Her face doesn't look the same to me as it used to. Not as big a change as like a Jennifer Grey facelift, but something almost similar, you know. Anyway, the show was really, really good. And again, I should have seen it coming and didn't. But, I mean, you do figure out they do share part of what's going on, but there is a cliffhanger at the end. Also, I didn't like some of the way some of the characters' relationships ended up, but I'm also a sucker for a good romance. I like it when people have happily ever after, so when everything is not hunky-dory at the end, it's not always my favorite thing. And you know, maybe things turn out hunky-dory because it's not the end of the season anyway. So yeah, I guess games and snowstorms and dead people shows have been my go-to. But I am going to go play pickleball because I am getting cabin fever. See, right about now at home in Kansas, it would be getting warm and everybody would be going out to fly kites and have a St. Patrick's Day parade and all that fun stuff. Okay, so I think that's everything about my regular life. What's been going on in my diamond painting life? I think simultaneously too much and not enough, if that makes sense. I think I have too much stuff going on at once. I thought having multiple WIPs would be good for me because the Heaven and Earth design is so confetti heavy. And we're just now about halfway through the month, so maybe it's too early for me to be negative, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it done. Not only do I not know if I'm going to be able to put in enough hours to finish it, I don't know if I'm going to have enough drills. I had 6 colors that I was short on, and I did have somebody remind me there is a website I can go to figure out what colors to substitute for DMCs. And I did know about the website, but it's made for cross stitchers, and I didn't think about using it for that purpose. I don't know why. I mean, when I'm doing a cross stitch conversion, and I have the cross stitch conversion project going on, which is going okay. So I'm not worried about that one, and that one's going to be relatively quick. So that will certainly be something I can get done in the month of March, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish the Heaven and Earth in March. I'm going to try, but if I don't finish it and I don't finish this one, that means I don't have anything finished for the month, which would be a super bummer because I definitely would like to finish things. So yeah, I just feel like maybe I bit off a little more than I can chew, or I need to just buckle down and spend every single moment of everyday diamond painting to try and get everything finished, which isn't what I want to do either, but I mean, it's not the end of the world if I don't finish anything. These are goals that I've set for myself, so it's not like there are repercussions other than my own disappointment. Just some days cabin fever gets to me and I gotta go do something else. Hopefully it'll start to warm up here soon. Everyone tells me that, as usual, keeps telling me that this is going to be a mild winter, although the lady that cut my hair did tell me that they usually get 1 or 2 big storms in March, so I guess we'll see. I mean, I don't know if this one counts as a big storm or not. I don't think it's any worse than any of the ones we had last year. They told me last year was mild too, so who knows? So yeah, well, that makes me feel good. I finished up this section. I just feel like I have Yeah, too many projects going on at once. So I'm trying to decide, do I work on the biggest one first and get it finished? Or do I start on the smallest one and then get the smallest one, which would be my cross stitch conversion, finished, and then work on this one and get it finished? And then at least I have those two finishes. If I don't have enough time to finish the other one, I can always work on it in April, right? Maybe that's what I should do. But I wanted to have this one and the cross stitch conversion to kind of do in between while I was working on the heaven and earth, because there are days it gets so confetti heavy. If I get 2 sections done, my little eyeballs are finished. I need to take a break. And considering it's 60, I think 65 by 65 almost, if I keep taking all those breaks, I'm never going to get done. Okay, well, this section is finished at least. So I've just got one more section on this row, and then I'll be done with this row, which will be nice. And I've got more than the first row. I think the first row and a half done on the heaven and earth design. If I was closer to being half done on everything, I think I'd feel better. But leave me a comment below and let me know. Should I work my way from small to big, or should I work my way down from big to small? That's it for me today, guys. Thanks so much for sticking around through all of the rambling. Before you leave, don't forget to do all the things. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification icon so that you can be informed of future uploads. And, as always, guys, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to check out the doggies. Oscar! Oscar, come here! Do you have snow all over your nose? Do you have snow all over your nose? Were you watching the dogs, Oscar? Are you watching the dogs, Oscar? Are you watching the dogs?